post-lunch session of today's forum. Well, generally the post-lunch session happens to be more of a siesta time, so we hope that's not the case. In order to make things more interesting for the rest of the day, we have some very good presentations lined up for you. Starting off with Mr. Sharat Chandra, who leads the Bangalore Chapter at the Government of Blockchain Association, and he would be covering a very interesting topic, which is blockchain in the government sector. More giving you a perspective on governance and how blockchain is being implemented in that sector. So can we have the caller mic set up, please?
This event and inviting me to speak. Now today I'll be covering detailing how exactly government is making governance agile through blockchain and what the Government Blockchain Association is doing to make it possible to people in the government and in the corporate sector come together and solve problems like real-world problems when it comes to citizen services or even smart cities and all that. Now I'll also be talking about a project which we are doing in collaboration with Nova Labs for the Karnataka government. The intent is to create a solution where we can validate the birth certificates on the blockchain, and using that we can link that with different other government schemes, like say immunization, then let's say integrated child development services as well. Now, at the recent Davos summit, WEF summit, Sheila Warren, the head of blockchain tech, said that the governments have a major role to play when it comes to distribution of emerging technologies. And the way the governments can shape it can also define the future of the technology in the coming days. Now, let's say when it comes to South Korean government, right, they've already introduced a scheme or a taxation scheme where they can offer tax-deductible options to companies who are engaged in offering research and development services or working on problems to promote innovation. So I think that's one area where the government can do something about it. The Indian government, right? For example, they're already thinking about scrapping the angel tax. That's what the talk is going on, right? So just to promote innovation and development in the space, the government can maybe loosen their tax regulations to a bit to promote the technology. Now, Sheila Warren also heads the Center for Fourth Industrial Revolution. They call it all the emerging technologies will be part of the fourth revolution. The first revolution was of the steam engine, right? Second one was of electricity. Third one was of digital. Now, this one, when it comes to emerging tech, like say AI, ML, IoT, and blockchain, will be the fourth pillar. Now, what Sheila Warren has done is she has set up a center in Mumbai. So that's the first center for fourth industrial revolution in India and across outside this Silicon Valley. And that's where the central government, in collaboration with the Maharashtra government and the Andhra Pradesh government, they are working for this center where they are trying to unlock the potential of emerging technologies such as blockchain and AI for enhancing farm output. And there was a recent McKinsey report which said that if you're using emerging technologies for solving problems in the agrarian sector, you can unlock potential up to $45 billion, the farm sector. Right? And Maharashtra government is already using it. Right? They're digitizing their land records, they are using drones for better output of their farming. So that's one area where governments can actually make governance possible through blockchain. I'll give you one more example. Let's say you already have pendency of cases, right? So NITI Aayog, they are already launched or announced something called India Chain, which is like a full stack blockchain infrastructure where they can automate or speed up the pendency of cases. Right? They can get those cases cleared up. They're already working with India Chain, the banking group where almost 26 banks are part of it. SBI is leading that group. But again, they haven't made significant progress in that particular front. But there's a lot to be done. And the cryptocurrency ban, I was talking to Amit about that. The hearing is coming up on 26th of February. And there's a friend of mine who has filed an RTI. His name is Sangvi. He runs CoinCrunch. So I know him. So he filed an RTI. He got the response that the report is in the final stage. So we are hopeful of getting a positive outcome on 26th. And we hope that the judges do not go and leave. Right? Because last time, both the parties, even the people petitioning that, and the judges are going to leave. So we hope they do not go and leave, and we see a positive outcome of that. So I think once we have a proper regulation in place, the governments have to make sure that we have the right regulation so that the technology can prosper and people in this space, all the stakeholders, be it government or be it corporates, right, they can leverage and use that to maximize the potential of the technology. Now, what are the areas where the government is kind of actually, they have made the headway there? One is your Ayushman Bharat, where the Niti Aayog, the policy think tank of the Indian government, they have already given a push for NHS, it's called National Health Stack. So it's complementary to the India Stack, which is kind of Aadhaar based. So it can solve a lot of problems when it comes to healthcare, even claim frauds, right? It can make records interoperability possible. Another one is the universal basic income. Now there's a lot of, because it's an election year, so Rahul Gandhi has already announced, okay, we will launch maybe a minimum income scheme for people for certain income levels, right? But again, fiscally, it's going to be, that's my opinion, it's going to be disastrous. Right? How do you manage funds for that? But let's say if they really want to do it, because good economics doesn't always make good politics, right? So they need to give out some doles to get the votes right. So let's say if they want to implement something like a UBI, which roughly translates to 3.6 lakh crores per year, even if you are giving money of 1,500 rupees to population of 200 million, right? So, leaving aside the fiscal part of it, it can be the benefits can be channelized to the right recipient if we use blockchain when it comes to digital identity management, right? Or at least make the records transparent enough so that you can see where exactly the money is coming from, where is it going. Now, I head the Bangalore chapter for GBA. So what GBA does is, what GBA is all about. GBA is a US-based non-profit organization, and it has presence in 93 locations in the world. In India, we have 4 chapters. Hyderabad was the first one, Bangalore was the second one, Calcutta, and Pondicherry. So what we do at GBA is we create a channel where policymakers, lawmakers, they can come in with their problems, and we bring in corporates or people in the startup space so that we can work on real-world problems, like the birth certificate project we are discussing about, where Nova Labs is the implementation partner, and Gokul Alex was one of the speakers here. He is one of so-called unofficial mentors over there because of other commitments, right? So again, Gokul Alex is offering his help on the project. Girish Nuni was supposed to be at the event but couldn't make it because of whatever reasons. So he's also part of GBA now. He's helping the government in creating a solution where we can actually get rid of discrepancy in the birth certificate data. Now, recently the Paris chapter president was inducted into the EU Blockchain Council. Now, there's another development recently. The Bangalore chapter has, we have sent a nomination to the Global Business Blockchain Council, which is like an advisory body to the WEF, World Economic Forum. So we're hopeful of getting there so that we get access to the broader audience and broader network. So our nomination has been accepted. We are able to see the results. Now, just to give a timeline about GBA, GBA was, the first meetup happened in 2016-17. It was formally set up as a non-profit organization. We have presence in 93 locations. Dubai is one chapter. I was talking to Rashid Al. So Dubai is where GBA is quite big. They have good presence with the Dubai government as well. We have 40 working groups. So we have working groups in supply chain, contract management, cybersecurity, smart cities, identity management space, where our project is being being implemented. And we have partly people attending our meetup events. So just a brief where exactly we are there. So these are the working groups and communities of interest. This is not the entire list, but it tells where exactly we are working on. So each individual group is led by someone who is like an industry expert. So for identity management group, we have Shiv Agarwal. So he heads a company called Earth.id, and he's closely working with the governments in UK, county governments in UK, and creating identity management solutions. Yeah. So coming back to the project which we are working closely with the Karnataka government, and we are trying to create a generic POC which can be used by governments across locations. Let's say if Australia government wants to use it, right? They can tweak the POC and use it. So just to give an idea, on 1st January, so 70,000 babies were born in India. So the problem is, not many babies are being born, not many people are actually registering the birth of the babies, right? There's always a time gap. And let's say in Karnataka, right, let's say if you exceed the 3-month gap, let's say baby is born and the parents did not apply for birth certificate after 3 months, That's another story. You have to file an affidavit, go there. Again, it's going to be a longer process. Now, in places, let's say tier 2 cities, right? Let's say Mysore or Mandya or there, Shimoga, right? Where you can easily forge your birth certificate. You can move dates back and forth because people do that, even just to apply for government jobs, right? So how do you make sure that you validate a birth certificate, right? If you, you will just show in the demo, let's say you sample a BBMP birth certificate, right? It doesn't have even on the barcode. How do you make sure this is the right one? It just has a normal stamp, someone will scribble as a signature. You can't even verify that. So there are higher chances of getting a duplicate birth certificate or a forged birth certificate. Now, these are some of the examples. It's an industry in itself, right? People are running rackets, making money. Now, the recent example was one of the ex-UP chief ministers, Azam Khan. His son had 2 birth certificates. There was a fire against him. How can your son have 2 birth certificates? Yeah. So in the Delhi case, what they actually did was they were able to manage access to the server, right? And they could manipulate records and run a racket. So that's where the blockchain can actually make the systems more secure, right? Scalability will initially be a challenge. That's what we're working on, right? We're just in the ideation stage. We haven't made much of progress because we have just started on this. Yeah. So this was the one I was talking about. This was the recent development. Yeah, so coming back to the Vital Records project, we were not sure how to begin with. So we are toying with the idea of should we choose Sawtooth or something else. Then luckily, Brian, the director of the project, was in Bangalore. So Noah Labs team, Sharan and Roy, they went and they met him and they proposed this idea. What do you think, how should we move forward? And he said, Hyperledger Indy would be the right choice for this particular project because that's meant for the identity space, right? So, and he offered help as well. Let's say, since it's not production ready, if you need any help, he's willing to help. Now, Noah Labs has agreed to help on this project as a pro bono basis, and we really appreciate their effort. There's a company called MedChain in US, so they are also working closely with us. Shiv Agrawal's company, Shiv Agrawal is leading the identity management group for GBA. His company is also working closely with us, so we are trying to create a solution which can be beneficial for governments across the globe. Yeah. So I will just show you a brief demo. Just on the ideation stage, it's not completely foolproof. We're just thinking how we can drive it. And so we'll just have a look at the demo, and if you have any questions, we would love to answer, right? So that's the sample birth certificate. It's being uploaded with the normal details of the parents. Now, once it has been uploaded, it will go to the admin. Let's say a registrar of death and birth certificates. Someone has to approve it. And let's say when it has been approved and vetted that okay, this is the right birth certificate, it will be stored on IPFS, right? There's a public key, right? Public key, and then we will try to integrate that with the current schemes of the government, which is like integrated child development schemes, where the government has already schemes where let's say a baby is born underweight. How do we make sure that you are taking enough steps or giving enough funds to the government or primary healthcare centers so that nutrition is taken care of? So what this repository can do, it can help governments in channelizing resources to specific recipients and work closely with workers in the villages, give them access, okay, this is the database of babies born, they were underweight, right? This is how this will follow, or let's say for less than 2 years, right? What is the immunization schedule they should follow? Which normally governments will not have access to the data completely, or the data might be fudged, or it can be fudged for other benefits, right? People in that space, the middlemen, they will try to make money just because there's not much transparency. So this is what we intend to do. We will try to have maybe 3 smart contracts where one can speak to the ICDS, Integrated Child Development Schemes. Second can be for nutrition of the babies as well as mothers, lactating mothers as well, so that even they need proper nutrition to make sure the babies are well fed. And one can be for mission in the which is government's part of your immunization program, where you make sure that all the children under certain age category are immunized so that you don't have risk of communicable disease as well, right? And just to give a figure, at Ayushman Bharat itself, within the first 100 days, they were able to give benefits to 68,500 people. Under this mission in the Dhanush, they were able to immunize close to 4 crore infants. So the potential is huge, and the blockchain can actually help the government in making sure these schemes actually benefit the people. Right. Now the governments are already working on in areas like, say, land records, where for the UP government, the land records management is being the pilot project is being worked upon by IIT Kanpur, and the GBA is offering help on a pro bono basis. We are working group in GBA called land titling, so we are offering our services to them. And we're going to IIT Kanpur and third, so I will be positioning GBA over there. How best can we help the government, the UP government, and make sure that the land registries are at least proper. And let's say Georgia was a recent example. They jumped good rank to, I think they reached 7th place in ease of doing business as per World Banking report. Now registering a business is one of the key parameters. Let's say if you rank a nation, how easy or how tough is it to register property, right? So let's say you have your land records digitized and make sure they are not being tampered with. India can easily jump from the current rank of 77 to maybe top 20, right? So what many people are hoping it can be a possibility, and we hope the government works towards it. And all the stakeholders, like say people like you, startups, even corporates, or even blockchain enthusiasts who can work towards it. So that's it. Anyone has any questions? Yeah.
Specifically for the land records part, the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I had an interaction with the Chief Secretary of AP Telangana, Mr. Jay Chaudhary. The POC is valid and done, right? But now the legal actions of how to take it forward, the scalability part and the pushbacks from the legal side, the lawyer part. How is that going to be tackled, or are you going to just put up a POC and UP as well?
I would say the legal side of it, I mean, the people in the government, they would be right people to answer it. And I think the UP government, as of now, right, they have the right resolve to make it happen, right? So technically, they have put the project in the right hands, IIT Kanpur. And legally, I think since RERA is already there, right? So I think a lot of hope in that space where legally there won't be much challenge to make it happen. But again,
the pipeline has been a little longer than expected.
For Andhra government, yes, because again, when it comes to government side, there's always a political will attached to it. So I'm not sure what is the intent of the Andhra government, but I'm quite hopeful about the UP project. I'm closely talking with Sandeep Shukla, who is the head of computer sciences at IIT Kanpur. So he has given me a kind of, I wouldn't say assurance, but he has said, okay, he's speaking to the right people in the government. So legal side of it, there won't be much of a pushback.
Yeah, the B2G solution, of course, requires the right channels to develop because I got a, when I took my healthcare solution, required the channels to the UP and the country. Because for decentralization, you require a centralized solution. So if you don't have that, you face a backlash for sure. Thanks.
Anyone else have any question? Thanks, Pramit, and thanks, Norris, for hearing me out. Yeah.
How is this, does this guys move to production? Still it is in the POC?
Which one?
AP government.
AP government, I think they're still at the POC stage. We haven't moved beyond that now. But we are also, we are speaking to the Hyderabad chapter and try and figure out what exactly is going on and where we can bring in GBA and the land titling group and make it faster.
It's more about the roadblocks between the legal side and responding. That's where the roadblock is.
Yeah. So that's what GBA is trying to do. It's trying to create an ecosystem where people from the government can come in. Yeah. We offer free memberships to people in the government come in and let us help solve your problems, right?
Yeah.
Are you also working with central government for any project?
Central government as of now, no. But we are trying to work closely with BVI and see how
centralized solution.
Yeah. No, even for the silo for the state, you don't have anything for the state when you talk about healthcare records, right? Yes. So that's what I'm talking about. It can be at different levels, right?
So many times the common services work with central first and they apply in the state is a better possibility. Yeah.
But I think with India Stack, right, with India Stack and EPI has already given the right push. Just because of the election, you're holding it back. India Stack is already in place. And India Chain, and they've already announced that even in the payment space, right, recently IDRB, Institute for Development Research in Banking Technology, in their body, they have laid out a blueprint for adoption of blockchain in the payment sector. So I think that there's a lot of right actions going on this space, and we should.
For SME loans, I guess it is happening.
Yeah, and I think because Nandan Nilekani has come on board with RBI, so we could see a lot of positive action happening over there. I normally call him the unofficial CTO of India because anything related to tech, he's there, and he actually makes it possible. So with him on the board, we can see a lot of positive developments in the coming days. Anyone else?
So we have time for questions. Hasn't your
Yeah, I'm done.
not
But
done
again,
with
yeah, I
slides?
would love to answer more questions.
Yeah, any further questions? We have about a couple of minutes for questions.
So anyone who is interested in working with GBA, we can you guys are welcome to join GBA, and because that will give you exposure to the global audience. GBA is present in 93 locations, and most of the people from the government are in the space. So let's say if you want to work with the government, or let's say even if you kind of utilize this for leveraging your conditions somewhere else, it can actually help.
Hello, Mr. Chandra. I'm Sue. I'm from Speculative Rationality. We're a blockchain research house from Singapore. And we do a lot of work in the government sector in trying to work with governments on both sides of enterprise developments and project developments, but also on the side of regulation. So I was just wondering, from the GBA side, what are the key stakeholders outside of direct government projects that you work with in India?
We mostly try and work closely with the government, but again, these members, they are encouraged to work in the private space as well.
Okay.
So the intent is to solve the problems which are affecting people in general. It cannot be, it doesn't have to be with the government. Let's say somebody, like a solid-based management, right? If someone is doing something in that space, we would love to collaborate and work with them.
Okay, and I suppose as part of the government collaboration, you would also have other stakeholders such as perhaps student bodies and
Yes,
universities.
we have, yeah.
You already have that collaboration going on.
So in GBA, we have something called student chapter. So what we do, we go to universities, conduct workshops, make people aware what exactly is going on in the space, how GBA can actually help in getting them access to industry experts. So just to let you know, I'll be going to Alliance University in Bangalore, where we will conduct a workshop, and the intent is to create a chapter where we can create a body of sorts where we can train students and give them access to work on projects like, say, Vital Records, right? Because there are not many training institutes and training bodies across the world, but not many of them would offer the option of working on a real-time development project.
Absolutely.
Which they can make a difference, and let's say if even they have bright ideas, we can use that for our project.
Absolutely. And what about tech partners from overseas and within India itself? So some of these projects that are being led forward by the governments or state governments. Who are the tech partners, and in what capacity do you work with tech partners to?
So tech partners, for example, let's say Nova Labs. Nova Labs is the implementation partner for the Vital Records project. So they normally work on a pro bono basis. But again, they get access to a wider audience. Let's say they work on a project, their POC, their name flashes across the world because they work on this POC, right?
Sure.
So using that, they can work with other people in the private space and leverage that to monetize their business.
Okay.
Or generate alternate sources of revenue.
That's great. Thank you.
Any further questions? All right, many thanks, Sharat. That was indeed a wonderful perspective into what you guys are doing, especially GBA and the way you're contributing to the society at large. So this would be a token of appreciation for your contribution to today's forum.